Hi, I'm Jim Bailey of Bailey Pottery Equipment. Today we're going to receive and we're going to set up a slab roller. When you receive your slab roller, it's going to come in 5 boxes. Let's start by opening some boxes. Here we have the leg set that is going to be using the casters on either side. So the next step is I'm going to take the caster and I'm going to put a cap screw through each hole, and I'm going to align it with the hole pattern here and bolt it in. All right, we have all the cap screws going through, and underneath you can see the lock and the nut. And we used a 3/16 Allen wrench to go in and snug up every one of them. With now the casters attached, take note, these are vertically oriented and they're not horizontal. Be sure you have it right, because now we're going to add this panel to the legs. And we want to take a moment and look at the holes. Note how this hole is closer to the leg than this hole is to that. And that is the orientation we want. We're going to tighten them, but not tighten them completely. Actually, we could just finger tighten these for now, just till it's snug. And we will do the same on the other side. Everything has been snugged up by hand. Everything is flush up at the top. The wheels are oriented, and it's time to move over to the other side. So here is the layout for the slab side of the machine. And of course, we don't have casters on the right side. The big difference here is this channel, the width channel. Over on this side, we have a bigger gap here between the edge and the hole. When I go place this down, now this edge is 3/4 of an inch higher than the termination of the leg. And that is the way we want it, 3/4 of an inch higher. So we're going to take our locks and our nuts and put them on both sides and get this assembly so it's finger tight and we're ready to move on. Okay, everything's snugged up, and now it's time to move on to the horizontals. Now it's time to attach the horizontals members from side to side. All 3 bolts in place and locks and nuts hand tightened in so they're snug. So I'll point out, here we are where we have the leg lower than the top of the channel. And indeed, that is the relationship, because the slab side is the high side. This is complete, it's all snugged up, and we're gonna go to the other side and attach the feed side, which has the wheels. And we will get to the last horizontal member here, and we'll be attaching that in a moment. Now that everything has been attached, horizontals, the verticals, we're going to snug up all the bolts with the 9/16 wrenches. The table is all assembled and tightened. We do need to put the mounts on, but we have our nice mobile feature here, and we're ready for the next step. We're at the point now where we want to attach the slab roller mounts to the side of the table. First, you can note there are 2 holes here. We're only going to use the upper holes. This is a multi-purpose table, but we're only interested in the upper range. So and we'll do the same for the back side. And we'll get wrenches and tighten these in. We're ready to mount the machine. This is a styrofoam spacer, and it's put between the 2 rollers for shipment only, so we want to remove that. There we are. Also for shipping, we installed a block of wood with some cardboard on either side. Those two were for protection during shipment, and now we need to withdraw those. The next thing we're going to do is back out the screws you see here and here, because we're going to install that metal plate. So we're going to attach the side panel just like this, and the screws will go on the top, and there'll be a little spacer of a washer underneath. So we'll start at the top and just get it started. I'm using a 5/16 driver here for the screws. Okay, now I can snug it up. Now it's time to put the machine in its proper place on the table. But before we move it in place, you always want to look at the top of the machine, because in the top of the machine is the slab direction only label, arrows pointing this way. And this is the side the slab rolls out on. So make sure before you bolt it, you have the arrows pointed to the large counter side of the machine. We're going to be using 1/4-inch bolts, 1 inch long, and we're going to start by putting a flat washer in place. And then we'll come to the frame. You have a larger holes, and the reason you have a larger hole is it gives us play for making sure the machine is in perfect alignment with the counter. So there we go, we just drop these in place for now, and one on the other side. And the same for this side. Got a flat washer, I've got a lock, and I've got a nut. And what I'm going to do is first get the flat washer up and in place, followed by the lock and the nut. And I'm not even gonna do this finger tight at this time. I'm just gonna leave it kind of loose but up, just barely touching above. And we'll put the other 3 in place as well. The next step is to attach the larger slab counter. Now I want to remind you that you might have ordered our longer table, in which case this would be a longer counter. But it's the same process for attaching. Now to prep it, the first thing you're going to do is make sure you have the holes facing down, because those relate to how we're going to attach it to the table later. Right now we're putting it on top of the table so we can get access to this side. The reason we want access to this side is we're going to attach the aluminum angle so that the flat is with the upper usable side. We've got a small Phillips. I have a 5/64 drill bit and screws to attach. Line up the aluminum so it's flush with the top. And drill. I have all the holes drilled, and now I'm going to use a screw gun to attach the strip, and we'll move on to mounting the counter. Okay, the aluminum strip is in place. Now I'm going to position the counter so it's balanced roughly on the table. And I'm just going to bring it up to the roller surface. That's all for now. In a moment, I'm going to get underneath and check out the alignment of the holes that are on the underside. So we're under the table, and we're looking at the frame with the slots in it and the holes related to the counter above. So we're going to take the wood screws and a screw gun. So I'm going to continue this on all the screws, and then we're going to be back on top. So we have the top counter, the slab counter, attached to the frame. It's tight and the counter won't move. That's important, because the next stage is setting the gap between the bottom roller of the slab roller and the aluminum edge. We don't want grinding and we don't want a gap. And in order to get that adjustment secure, we're going to add the wheel so we can rotate the bottom roller. So the next step is to attach the wheel. Here's the wheel that we're going to attach to the slab roller, and this is called a reverse threaded coupling. We call it reverse thread because it is a reverse thread. It's not your standard thread in the way you rotate it to attach. Now I put it on the wheel, on the coupling, and it's made contact wheel to coupling, and the roller is turning. The clicking you hear is a ratchet inside that's allowing you to turn the machine the direction that will force the clay this way. And the reason this is threading is if anyone made the mistake of trying to create a load and go in the reverse direction, this will simply unscrew and it won't damage the machine. So that's the reason for the reverse threaded coupling on the gear reduced slab rollers. So now we're going to go set the gap between aluminum edge and the bottom roller. Okay, so we are going to set the gap between this aluminum edge and the roller. We don't want the aluminum to rub on the roller, and we don't want a gap. I'm going to take a business card and put it in between the aluminum and the roller. And actually, I've just brought the machine back into it. And then we're going to take a second business card and go to the other side. I like to make it vertical and just bring this back so it's just barely touching. Now that's the approximation. Now the test is going to be, now I'm pulled back the machine. I'm going to take the cards out, not bump the machine, and I'm going to rotate the wheel. And I'm going to go for a full rotation and listen. Okay, that sounds good. I don't hear any contact between aluminum and the bottom roller surface. Now, carefully, I'm going to go down to the side, and we have the bolting points there on either side. This is out of view, but I'm going to tighten them in and then test again, because this is that important stage that gets the relationship right. Go to the bolts that are loose, and I'm going to take this closed end part and insert from the back, securing the top of the bolt, which I have done. And I can hand tighten this for a moment and then continue on with the ratchet. And it's snug. And we'll continue to do that on all 4 bolts. So now that all of the 1/4-20 bolts have been tightened, I didn't bump the machine, it's time for a final test. I'm going to rotate the wheel slowly and listen and make sure there is no scraping between those surfaces. And there isn't. So this is perfect, and we're ready to go to the feed side counter. On the back side, we have the 4 pre-drilled holes. And on top of the table, you can see the 4 slotted holes to run the screws through. It's the same as we did on the slab side, except when we put the counter down, we can back it off 1/8 of an inch. We don't need a close or even desire a close fit because there's no need for it. So we'll keep the 1/8 and go under the table, and just as before, we're going to take the 4 screws, get them into the hole, check that you have 1/8 inch, and tighten them up. We have our 1/8 inch gap, but you can always turn the wheel and listen, just as you did on the other side, to make sure there's no rubbing sound. Okay, so we've completed the assembly process And this is our smaller of the two tables, which is 51 inches. We have the longer version, which is 69 inches. The only difference in this process is that the counter on the slab side is going to be longer. When you order a DRD 2 Series 30G, the other gear model, which is 6 inches wider, we do not ship the reversed threaded coupling on the machine because it extends out too far. For safety, we keep it separate. So you'll need to attach that. Now there's a through hole on the shaft, and right here you've got the same through hole on the reverse threaded coupling. We supplied a hardened 1/4 20 bolt and a Nylox nut. Thread that on. Your 7/16 wrenches, and just tighten it until it's snug and you're all set. Now that it's nice and snug, the wheel goes on. This machine is the 24-inch direct drive, DD as a reference. And the direct drive has a shaft coming directly from the roller. It doesn't have gear reduction. The 24G has gear reduction, which makes slabbing easier. But it's a more expensive machine, and this is our economical version. So with the direct drive, here is the shaft from the roller, and when you get the wheel, you have 2 set screws. And I'm going to turn this so you can see inside. You may receive the wheel with the set screw extending in, so you need to back it off until the set screw is not extending into the hole. You put the set screws aligned with this flat in the shaft, and then you tighten it into place. And you want it squarely on the flat. Now I'm just tightening into the flat by finger tightness, and then you get into this position and you really turn tightly with both set screws. So this now is ready to use. You can hear the ratchet clicking, and this ratchet is exposed and it's right over here. If I go in reverse, it prevents you from going backwards because this is, remember, a one direction only. So it's important to remember that it takes the load this one way, and you're going to feel the resistance in reverse, but don't keep pulling backwards because you could damage your ratchet. One other thing I wanted to share with you, and make sure you understand the power of our slab rollers. The reason the machine goes one direction under a load is you can make a slab in one pass, meaning you'll put your canvas down, you put your clay down, just as the instructions tell you. But when you go to roll your slab, you can take 1.5 inches in one pass, take it to 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm mentioning this because there are other slab rollers on the market that you elected not to buy, and for good reason, that they can't take the load, and you have to roll the machine one way and turn it around and roll it back and turn down the thickness and go through again. You may have used a machine like that before, but understand on this machine, we call it a one-pass slab roller because it can take the load. So keep that in mind when you start rolling your slab. I want to share with you too that it was the slab roller that started Bailey Pottery Equipment back in 1976. And we appreciate your business. Enjoy your slab roller. It's going to give you years of excellent service. And people say there's nothing like a Bailey. Thank you.